everyone, welcome back to English TalkNest, where we make learning English fun, easy, and full of stories. I'm Cindy.
And I'm Ryan. Today we're going to unlock some of the most fascinating and weird English idioms, the ones you hear every day, but probably never thought about twice.
Right. I mean, have you ever wondered why we say things like spill the beans or kick the bucket?
Yeah, those sound strange if you really think about them. Imagine someone literally spilling a can of beans and then suddenly someone dies.
Exactly. Idioms are those magical little phrases that make English colorful and confusing. They don't mean what they say, but somehow everyone understands them.
And that's what makes them so interesting. Each idiom hides a story, sometimes funny, sometimes dark, sometimes totally bizarre.
So today, we're not just going to learn idioms, we're going to discover them. Because once you know where an idiom comes from, you'll never forget it.
So let's start with one of the most famous ones, break a leg.
Oh, yes, that's such a strange way to wish someone good luck. Like, hey, good luck on your performance. Go break your leg.
Exactly. But do you know where it came from?
I think I do, but let's test our viewers. What do you think it means?
Everyone, pause for a second and take a guess in the comments below. Where did break a leg come from?
All right, here's the story. Back in old theater days, actors were superstitious. Saying good luck was actually considered bad luck.
So instead, people wished the opposite, break a leg, as a funny way to trick bad luck.
That's right. It's like saying, I don't really mean it, but I kinda do. And guess what? The tradition still continues today.
Which is why you'll hear it all the time before a show, a speech, or even a big presentation.
So next time your friend has a job interview or a school performance, don't say good luck, just say break a leg.
Okay, here's another one. Under the weather. If I say, I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, what do I mean, Ryan?
That's an easy one. It means you're not feeling well, maybe sick or tired.
Right, but do you know where it came from?
Hmm, let me guess. Sailors?
Exactly. When sailors felt seasick during bad storms, they went below the deck, literally under the weather.
That makes perfect sense. English idioms really are like time capsules. They keep pieces of history hidden in plain sight.
Oh, I love that idea. Language as a time capsule. It's like learning culture through words.
Exactly. And there's another one that always makes me smile. Once in a blue moon.
Ah, yes, something that happens rarely. But did you know it's actually based on a real event?
Really?
Yep. A blue moon is when a full moon appears twice in the same month, a rare thing in astronomy. So, once in a blue moon literally means very rarely.
That's so cool. So idioms aren't random. They're a mix of history, culture, and a little bit of humor.
Exactly. And once you start learning them, you'll notice that native speakers use idioms all the time. In fact, using them correctly makes your English sound natural and fluent.
Totally agree. So in this video, we'll travel through time, from ancient history to modern slang, and reveal the real stories behind idioms you use every day.
And trust me, some of them are going to surprise you.
You'll laugh, you'll say, "What?" And by the end, you'll sound more like a native speaker.
So stay with us, grab your notebook, and let's start unlocking the world of English idioms together.
Coming up next, ever wondered what raining cats and dogs really means? Spoiler, it's not about animals falling from the sky.
You'll find out in the next part, and trust me, it's a wild story.
This is English TalkNest.
Let's talk English the fun way.
Welcome back to English TalkNest. If you're still here, that means you're just as fascinated by idioms as we are.
And trust me, things are about to get even more interesting because now we're not just learning what idioms mean, we're learning why they matter.
You know, people use idioms every single day without even thinking about it. But when English learners hear them for the first time, they can sound completely confusing.
Exactly. I remember one of my students once said, "My boss told me to hit the sack, and I didn't know whether to laugh or call security."
That's hilarious. Of course, hit the sack just means go to bed. But if you don't know that, it sounds kind of violent.
It actually comes from a time when people used to sleep on sacks filled with hay. So, hit the sack literally meant lie down on your hay bag and sleep.
That's such a great example. Idioms often reflect how people lived, their jobs, tools, and habits.
Exactly. Here's another one I love: bite the bullet. It means to face something difficult or painful with courage.
Oh, that's a good one. And the origin? Pretty dark. Soldiers used to literally bite on a bullet during surgery when there was no anesthesia.
Can you imagine? That's intense. But that's what I love about idioms. They're not just random phrases, they carry human stories.
Right. And sometimes those stories are about mistakes or misunderstandings too. Take the ball is in your court.
Oh, yes, that one's from tennis, right?
Exactly. It means it's your turn to take action or make a decision. So when someone says the ball is in your court, they're saying it's up to you now.
And if you think about it, idioms like this one make English sound more natural and expressive. Instead of saying it's your responsibility, you can say the ball is in your court. It sounds smoother and more native.
That's the beauty of idioms. They give your English color and rhythm.
True, but they can also be tricky. Imagine someone hearing break the ice for the first time. They might think you need a hammer.
Yeah, but it actually means to start a friendly conversation in a social situation.
The phrase comes from the days when ships had to literally break the ice to open a path in frozen water. So breaking the ice means making the first move, helping things go smoothly.
I love that, and it's such a powerful image. Language has always been our tool to connect, to make people feel comfortable, just like breaking the ice in a conversation.
Exactly. And here's something interesting. Idioms don't just make English fun, they help you think like a native speaker.
Right, because when you understand idioms, you understand the culture behind the language, the humor, the emotion, even the history.
So if you want to sound more natural, stop translating word by word. Instead, start learning idioms as small stories.
Yes, each idiom is like a tiny movie in your mind. When you say, hit the sack, picture an old soldier falling onto a hay bag. When you say, bite the bullet, imagine someone showing courage through pain.
And when you break the ice, imagine melting the tension in a room with your words. That's how idioms stick, through images and feelings.
I love that. Language learning should be emotional, not mechanical.
Exactly. And the more idioms you know, the more confident and expressive you'll become.
So in the next part, we're going to dig deeper into the strangest, funniest, and most unexpected origins behind some of the world's favorite idioms.
Oh, yes, we'll talk about cats, dogs, beans, and even pigs that fly.
Sounds like a zoo.
It will be, but you'll love it because every idiom has a story that will surprise you.
Stay tuned. You're about to discover how raining cats and dogs and spilling the beans made their way into everyday English. Welcome back to English TalkNest. If you've been following along, you already know that idioms aren't just words. They're stories, full of mystery and humor.
And today, we're about to explore some of the weirdest ones ever. Get ready, this is where English gets wild.
Let's start with one of the most famous idioms, raining cats and dogs. Cindy, what comes to your mind when you hear that?
Honestly, I imagine cats and dogs falling from the sky like a cartoon.
Same here, but thankfully it doesn't actually mean that. It simply means raining very heavily.
Right, but do you know where it comes from?
There are a few theories. One is pretty gross. In 17th century England, houses had thatched roofs. During heavy rain, dead animals lying in the streets could wash into the gutters, making it look like cats and dogs were falling.
Ooh, that's disgusting, but it's so fascinating and it really shows how idioms reflect real life from centuries ago.
Another theory links it to Norse mythology. Cats were symbols of rain, and dogs were connected to storms. So, raining cats and dogs could mean a stormy, chaotic downpour.
I like that version better, less smelly.
Definitely. Okay, next one. Spill the beans. What do you think it means, Cindy?
Oh, that's an easy one. To reveal a secret, right?
Exactly. And this one actually goes back to ancient Greece. People used beans to vote secretly. White beans for yes, black beans for no. If someone accidentally, or intentionally, spilled the beans, everyone could see the results early.
That's brilliant. So spilling the beans literally meant revealing the secret before the right time.
Yep, that's how an innocent kitchen accident became an idiom about gossip and secrets.
Okay, what about pulling someone's leg? That one always makes me smile.
Me too. It sounds playful, but the origin is actually kind of dark. In Victorian England, thieves, known as trippers, used to pull people's legs to make them fall, then steal their wallets.
Oh no, so it wasn't just a joke, it was a real crime.
Exactly. But over time, the meaning softened. Now, when you pull someone's leg, it just means you're joking or teasing them.
That's a great example of how idioms evolve from something serious to something lighthearted.
Totally. And speaking of lighthearted, let's talk about when pigs fly.
One of my favorites. It means something that will never happen, right?
Right. People have been using this phrase since the 1600s to talk about impossible things. It's like saying, yeah, sure, I'll do that when pigs learn to fly.
So never. It's funny how every language has its own version of that. In English, it's pigs. In other cultures, it might be cows, donkeys, or even fish.
True. That shows how language connects us through humor and imagination. Okay, one more fun one. Let the cat out of the bag. It means revealing a secret, just like spill the beans.
Yes, this one goes back to old marketplaces. Farmers used to sell piglets in bags, but some tricksters would secretly put a cat inside instead. When someone opened the bag to check, they let the cat out of the bag, revealing the truth.
That's so sneaky and such a clever image. No wonder it became an idiom for revealing a secret.
Exactly. It's amazing how idioms capture moments from real life, everything from farm tricks to street crimes to ancient rituals.
And that's what makes them unforgettable. When you learn the story, the idiom sticks in your memory and your English gets stronger naturally.
Absolutely. So next time someone says, "Don't spill the beans," or "I'll believe that when pigs fly," you'll know the story behind it.
In the next part, we'll explore idioms that come from work, wisdom, and daily life. Phrases that reveal how people lived, studied, and dreamed centuries ago.
Like burning the midnight oil or the whole 9 yards. And you'll be surprised how much they tell us about history and human nature.
This is English TalkNest.
Let's talk English the fun way. Welcome back, everyone. In the last part, we discovered some wild idiom stories. Cats, dogs, flying pigs, and spilled beans.
Yeah, who knew English history could be so animal-friendly and messy at the same time?
Today, we're shifting gears a little. We're exploring idioms that come from daily life, hard work, and wisdom. The kind of expressions that show how people lived hundreds of years ago.
Exactly. These idioms are like windows into the past. They tell us how people worked, studied, and saw the world before technology made things easy.
Let's start with one that's perfect for students. Burning the midnight oil.
Oh yes, that means staying up late to study or work, right?
Exactly. and it comes from the time before electricity, when people used oil lamps for light. If you were still working after dark, your lamp would burn through the night, literally burning the midnight oil.
That's such a beautiful image. Someone studying quietly under a lamp, trying to improve their life.
I love it too. It's a reminder that learning takes effort, and sometimes late nights.
Speaking of effort, what about the whole 9 yards? That's one I always found interesting.
Me too. It means giving your maximum effort, doing everything possible. But do you know where it came from?
There are a few theories. One says it comes from World War II pilots. Their machine gun ammunition belts were 9 yards long. So if a pilot used all his ammunition, he gave the whole 9 yards.
Wow, that's intense. But it makes sense. So when you give the whole 9 yards, you're giving everything you've got.
Exactly. It's all about commitment and going all in.
Here's another one I like. Butterflies in your stomach. We all get that feeling sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, before an exam, a speech, or a date, it means you're nervous, but also excited.
The phrase comes from how people used to describe that fluttery, light feeling in the stomach when anxious. It's a perfect example of how idioms turn feelings into vivid pictures.
That's true. English idioms often use the body to express emotion, like cold feet for fear, or a heart of gold for kindness.
Exactly. Here's one more. Under the table. If someone gets paid under the table, what does that mean?
It means being paid secretly, usually in cash, without taxes or records.
Right. And it's probably from the idea of doing something hidden or unseen, under the table where no one can notice.
That's a clever one. And speaking of clever, here's a sweet one, a piece of cake.
Oh, yes. When something is easy, we say, that test was a piece of cake. It actually comes from early 20th century competitions, where the winner was given cake as a prize, meaning the task was simple or enjoyable.
So, a piece of cake doesn't just mean easy, it also means pleasant and rewarding.
Exactly. And while we're at it, what about once in a blue moon?
Ah, we mentioned that briefly before. It means something that happens very rarely. It comes from a real astronomical event, when a full moon appears twice in 1 month.
That's right. So if your friend says, I eat vegetables once in a blue moon, it means almost never.
Sounds like me with salads.
Same here. But isn't it amazing how these simple idioms carry so much history and imagination?
It really is. Every phrase is like a tiny story that connects us to people who lived centuries ago.
And the more we learn them, the more we understand not just English, but also how English speakers think.
That's right. Idioms are cultural shortcuts, small expressions with deep meaning.
In the next part, we'll explore some of the darker and more mysterious idioms, ones born from superstition, survival, and even fear.
Oh, like bite the bullet or saved by the bell. Some of those have surprisingly spooky origins.
So don't go anywhere. The next part might give you chills, but it'll make you love English even more. Welcome back, everyone. You've made it to the final part of our idiom adventure.
We've explored idioms about animals, emotions, history, and everyday life. But now, it's time for something a little darker.
That's right. Today we're diving into idioms that come from pain, superstition, and survival. Some of these expressions were born in battlefields or from people's deepest fears.
Let's start with one that's both brave and brutal. Bite the bullet. We use it when we need to do something unpleasant or face a difficult situation with courage.
Like saying, I don't want to take the exam, but I'll bite the bullet and do it. But its origin is quite shocking, right?
It really is. Back in the days before anesthesia, soldiers who needed surgery had to stay awake during the operation. To help them endure the pain, they were given a bullet to bite down on.
to keep from screaming or biting their tongue.
That's intense. So the phrase literally came from enduring pain, and now it means facing life's challenges bravely.
Exactly. I love how English turns real-life pain into lessons about strength.
Speaking of survival, another spooky idiom is saved by the bell. We usually use it when someone escapes a bad situation just in time, like when the class bell rings before a surprise test.
Yeah, but the original story is much creepier. In the 18th century, people were terrified of being buried alive, so they designed coffins with a string attached to a bell above ground. If someone woke up underground, they could ring the bell for help.
That's chilling. So if the bell rang, the person was literally saved by the bell. Today, though, it's also used in boxing, when a fighter is losing, but the bell ends the round and saves them.
Either way, it's about escaping disaster just in time.
Here's another mysterious one. Cat got your tongue? We say it when someone's unusually quiet, like, why so silent? Cat got your tongue?
There are a few possible origins. One theory says it comes from ancient punishments where criminals' tongues were cut out and fed to cats, though that's probably just a myth.
Another says it may come from ancient Egypt, where cats were sacred and speaking against them was forbidden, so people stayed silent.
Whatever the real story is, it shows how English idioms can carry fragments of myth and superstition even into modern times.
Exactly. And even though these idioms sound dark, they reveal something powerful, how language reflects our fears, hopes, and courage.
That's so true. Now that we've explored all these fascinating origins, let's talk about something practical. How to actually remember and use these idioms naturally in conversation.
Great idea. Tip number 1. Connect the idiom to its story. When you learn where an idiom came from, it sticks in your memory. For example, bite the bullet becomes easy to recall once you imagine that old battlefield scene.
Exactly. The story makes it unforgettable. Tip number 2, use idioms in real-life situations. Try to include 1 or 2 idioms when you talk with friends or write messages in English. For example, if your friend cancels plans at the last minute, you could say, well, better late than never.
Perfect. Tip number 3. Group idioms by theme. Learn them in small sets, like idioms about weather, emotions, or work. That helps you remember them faster and recognize patterns in how English expresses ideas.
And here's my favorite. Listen for idioms in real conversations. Movies, podcasts, and YouTube videos are full of them. When you hear one, pause and think, oh, that's what it means. Then try using it yourself.
Yes, the more you hear idioms in context, the more natural they'll sound when you speak.
And remember, idioms aren't just for advanced learners. They make your English sound alive, colorful, expressive, and real.
Beautifully said. So whether you're burning the midnight oil studying English or just learning once in a blue moon, you're already building a stronger connection with the language.
Keep practicing, stay curious, and never be afraid to bite the bullet when learning gets tough. Because every idiom you learn brings you closer to thinking like a native speaker.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through English idioms. We hope you've discovered not just new phrases, but also the fascinating stories behind them.
And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite idiom in the comments.
We can't wait to read them. This is English TalkNest.
Let's talk English, the fun way.